Time has no beginning and no end. That might sound a little strange, a little weird, but let's, break this down for you. First off, the only way time could ever truly end is if everything ceased to exist. Completely. Because as long as anything exists, it does so within time. Time isn't something separate from existence. It's part of the very fabric of reality itself. That blanket we call reality, part of the fabric. As long as there's something to exist, there's time. Now you might be thinking, what about the Big Bang? Didn't time begin then? But that assumes the Big Bang was the absolute starting point. In reality, for the Big Bang to have happened, something had to have caused it. Because energy cannot be created or destroyed. That's a simple law of physics. And for anything to happen, time had to have already existed. You can't have events without time to allow them. So even before the Big Bang, time was still ticking. Now you may ask, but what if there was a time when nothing truly existed, just nothing? Well, here's the kicker. Nothing has never existed, and it will never exist. And that's not just philosophical, that's backed by the laws of physics. Because energy cannot be created or destroyed. In a universe where something always exists, time must always exist too. By the way, if you want to hear more about this nothing thing, I did make a whole video on it, so I don't know, maybe you should watch that or something. I don't know, dude.
Alright, what does this mean? It means our universe is a monkey. Okay, not a literal monkey, but a metaphorical one. The infinite monkey theorem describes a monkey hitting random keys on a typewriter, and that given infinite time, and hitting random keys, that monkey will eventually hit the random keys in such an order that would be identical to a Shakespearean play. In fact, given infinite time, that monkey will have hit all those keys in every order possible. So let's just think about the universe for a second. The universe is in constant motion. Gravity pushes and pulls, atoms vibrate, light moves in waves, explosions, solar flares, black holes. The universe is never still. Thus we have our monkey. So the universe is constantly hammering away at that typewriter, combining elements and quarks and atoms and blowing them apart in an infinite dance over incomprehensible amounts of time. Which means every combination of letters will eventually be written. Every combination of atoms, quarks, and elements. But let's talk about you for a second. You are a combination of those letters. You are just as valid a creation as the sun, or a planet, or one of those billions of stars that drift across the galaxy, or this big old can of root beer. You are a combination of those letters that the universe typed in the infinite chaos that time provides. And the evidence for this is the very fact that you're breathing. You're here, which means you're possible. And given enough time, every possibility is an inevitability. So, what does this have to do with the afterlife? You are possible. We know you're possible by the simple fact that you're breathing and seeing this, which means, given an incomprehensible amount of time, the universe will have hit the random keys in the order that will create you. This is an amazing concept, because after you die and the world explodes and the sun fizzles out or whatever, your body will simply go back to its most rudimentary parts, basic building blocks of the universe, atoms, etc. You'll be the letters the universe writes with again, as you were before you were born, which means the universe will eventually type that random key combination that is you. It would take an absolute eternity, but you will exist again. And to you, it would seem like you had just died and woke up again. Because, think about it, do you have any recollection of the billions of years that happened before you were born? No! It'll go like this. Doo-doo-doo, walking along, boom! Struck by lightning. What's this? I'm a baby! What? No way! I've already been a baby. I can't be a baby again. Can't even believe it. Of course I am. This is totally normal. Because I have no recollection of my previous life. Because my brain decayed into atoms millions of years ago. Which also means that you could have lived before. Which means that you're living in an afterlife as we speak. In fact, there's no telling how many lives you've lived before. Which isn't as comforting as this video was made to be, but you know what? With that, I give you life after death. The afterlife if you're feeling saucy. You're welcome, atheists. Even your belief system has an afterlife.
Yes, I'm like the...
Given infinite time, anything is possible. Even going off of what we know, which is that everything around us exists. We can speculate on an afterlife. So the question is not whether or not we'll wake again, but instead, what kind of universe will we see after trillions of years?